this stuff looks. Positive and negative coterminal angles. The whole idea of being able to do positive and negative coterminal angles is really so you can find a reference angle. And once you can find a reference angle, you can solve trig functions. That's the only reason why you need to know how to do positive and negative coterminals. The valued ones for degrees, that's the easy stuff, but what people were having questions about was the terminology in the second grouping here, because the other classes were able to get, I wasn't talking to Severino when the bell rang, so they got their work. What happens here with a lot of our parameters is that we get stuff with directions that says, find a coterminal angle between 0 and 2 pi. So basically what you're doing here is you're finding a coterminal angle between 0 and 2 pi, starting out with negative value, which means you're spinning them around. Right. Correct. Well, that way. So if I'm at negative 11 pi over 6, it's almost one way around. Well, how much is left? Pi over 6. So my reference angle, basically, to be a positive value there, is pi over 6. Right. That's it. It just says find the 1. And that's all it is.
Should I just find the reference angle?
Find a coterminal angle between 0 and 2 pi.
So
because if you spun it around again, you'd be over 2 pi.
Because it's the same thing as adding 2 pi, right?
Right.
And then I just okay.
Same idea, negative 17 pi over 9. It's almost 18 pi over 9, so it's almost 2 pi again.
Pi over 9.
And you spin that around, you're left with pi over 9. Now, obviously, pi over 9 has nothing on our circle to get us to pi over 9.
Yeah.
But it's not asking us to do that, is it?
Yeah.
I had people ask me earlier, like, wait, how am I supposed to find pi over 9 on that? Does it say to have to? All I have to do is just find the angle, and that's all it is. 12 power 2. You guys are a little bit more even keeled.
We are.
Surprisingly.
We're smaller too.
Yeah, you guys are kind of short.
Except for
Wait, why are you looking at me?
It's the freshman.
I know
we're all 5 feet.
Does 12 hours have more freshmen?
Is there ever a day that just the freshmen are gone?
Those are the great days, aren't they?
When they go to NIU.
We already did that.
Now, when we get through some of these here, I'm not going to spend all day going over a lot of this because the other classes, they had this already over the weekend. So I'm going to let you guys have a little bit more time in class to work on some of this. When he starts going into finding the exact value of the trig function, this is where it says draw the angle and its reference angle. That is how you set up and solve all these problems. You don't just try to think of it in your head and go off and right away. You spin around, find your reference to know which triangle you're building, because everything is built into the triangle. Okay. So if you're doing tangent negative 600 and sine of negative 315, let's walk with these to start with. You have to unwind it and figure out where it lands. Well, if I start out, here's 360. If I want another, if I go to here, I'm at 540. And now I'm up 60 more degrees, which gives me a 60-degree reference angle. Yes, ma'am?
See, you always base the triangles off of reference angle.
Yeah, everything is best. That's the whole thing, because your theta value is always next to the origin. Right? So when your second quadrant, 60-degree angle, tangent, you should know right away if the sign, S-I-G-N, of tangent is positive or negative, which is it? Negative. The tangent value has to be negative, second quadrant. Build your triangle. Well, I know that in this triangle, opposite the 60 is a √3. Adjacent to it is the -1. And my hypotenuse is 2. 30, 60, 90. The reason I put the -1 here is because I'm on the x-axis, and it's a -1 because it moved to the left. Okay? So your tangent is opposite over adjacent, so it's -√3 over 1, or just -√3.
Okay.
Okay? That's all that is. That's how these things, this is the thought process of placing it to the circle, to identifying where it's going to go. Okay? Let's see, you look like you're about to ask me something.
I was.
What do you got?
Well, I mean, I don't know if we're just like going through all of them.
I'm going to pick and choose a few of these as we go through. If there's a specific one when I get to it, just let me know. Okay? Sine, -315. Same idea. We spin around, just wind up in the first quadrant. You have a reference angle of 45. What's the sine of 45? √2/2. And you're done. Okay? That's the idea here. It's just simple, place it, know what the sine, S-I-G-N, is going to wind up being in that quadrant, and you'll be all right. Okay. We had a little bit of quick talk here on tangent of 1050. Tangent 350, well, start spinning it. Here's 360, 720. Excuse me. And then you go, what is it, 900? Yeah, 900 is one more time around, right? No.
No,
It's
that's
1080, so we are in here with a 30 degree reference. Okay. So your 30 degree reference angle, tangent. So if you start to remember, opposite the 30 is the 1, adjacent is the √3,
And would that be -1?
and it would be negative because I went vertical down. Correct.
Well,
So
the
this,
hypotenuse isn't negative.
Yes.
The hypotenuse, I think I did that right on my
correct.
quiz.
The hypotenuse is never negative because you use Pythagorean theorem to find it.
Okay.
Right? Yes, sir.
the SIG and it's just negative when you go this way or this.
Correct. Because you're moving left or you're moving down.
It's just, I understand that part, I just don't understand like when you, like, because on the quiz there, it was like, one of the things, it could have been that in either the second or third class.
And that's why they have
And one of them-
rules for finding angles. We're going to get to that. We're going to revisit
And one
that.
of them, this side was negative, and the other one, this side was negative, and negative you put in.
Right.
I didn't know.
Because there are, I'll be talking when we get to finding an angle again, I'm going to re-explain why this happens. You're only looking for certain value.
All right.
Okay.
Suggestive.
Listen, you had one. What'd you get?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so for tangent,
Yeah.
if it's in the third quadrant, it's positive, right?
Correct. And why is that?
Because it's a negative over a negative.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's exactly right. That's all it is.
That was interesting.
I was happy. She was right. So I was like,
I'm not usually right.
You know,
you're always on my right. Unless you're on my left.
Isn't that what you do if you want like a truck to honk for you?
Yeah, they don't.
Because they're
And they don't normally they don't normally listen to this. But yes, they listen to this a lot.
What is this?
I did that once, and then the driver shook his head at me.
What? I'm being serious. I don't know what it is.
Like, I know it's disrespectful, I don't know what it
side.
actually means.
Is it like a?
Angle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it now.
Wait, what did I do?
I regret asking. I'm full of regret.
Always late. I'm a naive little child, and I don't know what that meant.
That meant that was from Spaceball. This was from Spaceballs.
Because
It's awesome. Yeah, but now you understand what
Yeah.
that means. Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't do it.
If I said what's
Okay, so it's just a
yeah.
negative over that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. This is the technical flip the bird. This is just
Okay.
all this new. You guys get to learn so much more than just math. So happy I can teach you stuff like
This
that.
is on the recording, right?
Sure,
Great.
We can't have it.
I did. No, I did.
No, there was the one day you can.
There was one day I probably didn't because I might have been talking about a PowerPoint.
Oh, yeah, did it? You forgot to record.
Yeah, that was, I think
They
it
got
was,
bad.
yeah, it was when Alyssa was gone. Good times.
Yeah.
Actually, the assignment was just to finish the unit circle, because I
Yes.
watched the other
Yeah.
classes, so I did that.
Oh, that's right, because something happened, it didn't compile correctly for some reason. So let's look at negative 19 pi over 4. Hopefully you guys are starting to recognize when you're dealing with radian value. When your denominator is a 4, you should know right away what your reference is going to be.
45.
If your denominator is a 3, what will it be?
60.
And if it's a 6, it's 30. It's nice to pick up on those nice little tricks. So the only thing you have to understand now is what quadrant you wind up in so that way you can change your sign, your SIG in. So this is negative. This is almost 5 pi. Okay? So we have 1 little, 2 little, 3 little pies, 4 little, almost 5 pi.
Wait.
We know that that's kind of a little over exaggerated there. So let's looks better. So we know that our reference angle is pi over 4, 45 degrees. Correct?
Correct.
The tangent of 45 degrees is what?
Positive.
It's going to be positive in third quadrant. So what is it?
1.
1.
No.
Yes.
Good.
I went too far.
Okay. 31. Negative 31 pi over 6. Everybody agrees that it's more than 5.
It's
We just spun around negative ways a second ago, so we can do that again. Ready? Let's sing. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little pies, 4 little, 5 little, and a pi over 6.
It's a snail. It looks like a snail.
Snail. Yes, sir.
Back to the other one.
Yeah.
When we had one over the negative one,
You went left, so this is negative 1, and you went down negative 1. Okay. So now I have a pi over 6 reference angle, which means my triangle with theta here is 30 degrees. 1, root 3, and 2. Which one of those values is negative? Root 3 is the negative. Cosecant. Cosecant is the opposite or the inverse of what trig function?
Sine.
Sine is opposite over hypotenuse.
Is 2. Positive. Yeehaw. You know what day it is? It's Taco Bell Monday.
I woke up at 4:40. Did you start with this now? You always get the good practice time, so shut up. We have 5 to 7 and 9. That's I don't like 5 to 7. That's fine. You gotta make 7 to 9. You have 3 to 5.
21 pi over 4.
Alright, it's 5 and 5 and 1/4. Well, it's positive.
5?
So it's gonna be
5 and a fourth. So we go 1 little, 2 little, 3 little pies, 4 little, 5 little.
1 boy high. I
Yay.
made it. Oh, I said 45.
So what is the tangent again of 45?
Tangent is 1.
1. And is it positive or negative? The third quadrant? You guys see how easy it is to spin around? The whole idea of all this trig values are just found by spinning into the correct quadrant.
So whenever I do 1/4, I want to I forget that it's 2 pies, so I go 90 degrees or whatever.
Okay.
I probably don't.
Cosecant 2 pi. Cosecant of 2 pi is right there. You're on a quadrantal now.
Yes.
When you're on the quadrantals, you have ordered pairs. Your ordered pair values are 1 and 0. What is your R value for your radius on the quadrantal? 1. Now, cosecant is the opposite of sine. It's the inverse of sine. If sine is opposite over hypotenuse, we would say that the sine is y over r. Cosecant then would be r over y.
So it's, I undefined.
It's undefined because it's 1 over 0, which is undefined.
That's what I had.
That's wrong then,
Right.
because the inverse of 0,
Actually, I don't know. I don't think I did that one.
the inverse of 0, when you flip it, is undefined. What I want you to think about when you're dealing with zeros and undefined, as far as your quadrantals are concerned, if it's 0, it's going to be the opposite of 0 is undefined. As far as big slopes, the opposite reciprocal of slope of 0 is undefined. The opposite reciprocal slope of undefined is 0. That's how those work. It's an easy way to remember the reciprocal that way. When we defined it just straight value sine in 13.2, when we first started placing terminal side of theta, sine was y over r.
Okay.
Cosecant is r over y.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay. Now the difference as we get into this is exact value of expression. This is where it gets to be
Because these
Back.
are problems I didn't understand. Oh, wait, no, I understand. Wait, you skipped the ones that I didn't understand.
oh, did I skip? Oh, I mean, I spun it too fast.
Chapter 26. I
Okay.
did that.
You're going to be pleasantly surprised at the ease of this.
Actually, I got the first one, because it's just flipped. But I didn't get the other one.
I was kind of. So the
I didn't get
answer
the-
is just.
What this is telling you that you have a right triangle with a theta value, and it says the sine of theta is 8 over 17. So that means opposite theta is 8, hypotenuse is 17.
So you just use Pythagorean?
Yeah,
Bag.
it's a triple.
Bag.
Does it?
Are we allowed to use,
So now, that's all it is. And you did that, so you did that.
Tangent, it's
Yeah.
just like tangents, and a tangent around equals.
You're not trying to do that. It's a triple.
It is?
I don't know about your.
3, 4, 5, 5, 12, 5, 12, 13 is 8, 15, 17, is 7, 24, 25, 9, 40, and 41. Yes, ma'am.
Wait, for that, would you get the same
Hold on,
answer?
guys.
Would you get the same answer if you put the angle and then next?
Yeah, 'cause it's still, as long as you pick theta, if 8's your opposite, you're right.
Oh, okay. I was so confused. No, duh. I was so confused by that last night, but.
Back to, what is the value? Oops, wrong button. I'm so glad I could get that song stuck in your head. Here we go.
There's like 5.
Now, when it shows you exact value, what is the exact value of the expression? When you see the inverse value, your -1, or you see sine of theta equals something, you're trying to find theta, you're trying to find out what angle has the sine value of 1. This is where you have to go back into the different parameter possibilities. Yes, ma'am?
Sine is y.
Correct.
Okay.
So when you're looking at sine values, first thing I'm doing here, whenever I have an inverse function, I am always going to draw the possible locations. The possible location to find an exact value for the sine is between pi over 2 and negative pi over 2. Okay? Now, when it says what is the sine value of 1, that tells me it's on a quadrantal. Well, ordered pairs are 0 and 1. This is 1 and 0, and here is 0 and -1. Sine is the y-coordinate of a quadrantal. Which one of those has a y-coordinate of 1? The 90-degree pi over 2. So your answer here is pi over 2, or 90 degrees. These problems you're going to want to always list a radian and a degree. Whereas the other style, you were finding the value on the triangle. There is no radian, there is no degree, it's just a fraction. Right? cosine, what do you got, Christian? You
I don't get it.
get what?
I was with you, and then you plotted the points, and then I was just writing them in.
Okay.
So it's 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. I get it.
Which one of those has a y coordinate that's 1? Question. 0, 1. What's the degree measured there? What's the radian? There's your answer.
So you just do, why do you look for the y?
Because remember what's happening here. That is occurring when you're on quadrantal. It's very easy to look at it as, remember, if you're going to do the sine of 90 degrees, sine of 90 is y over r, and r is equal to 1. What's 1 divided by 1? Okay. When I do the cosine, if I go to cosine of 1, I'm going to start with my possible parameters between 0 and pi. Okay. Again, I'm listing out 1, so that means I'm probably going to be on one of the quadrantals that I touch. Yes, sir.
So if you have 2, then it will be 2 instead of
For the quadrantals?
1. Yeah.
No, those are always going to be placed out at 1.
Wait, so you want our degree in both radians?
Yes, please. Which one of those has an x coordinate of 1? 0. So the cosine inverse of 1, what angle has a cosine of 1 is 0 in degrees or is 0 in radians?
Oh.
Yes.
So you just write 0.
That's fine.
Wow.
Can you do 29?
And the reason that happens, that they're always going to be 1, is because remember, your cosine value is x over r. On the quadrantal, r equals x here. So no matter what x value is, it's 7. What's 7 divided by 7?
Why is there an asterisk in
Never.
the 8?
Oh, yeah.
It's worded wrong. Don't worry about it. I just didn't get a chance to erase
So
it.
we just don't do it?
Yeah. I'll explain it here in a second. Okay.
29.
I'm getting there.
That's what I was thinking.
What angle has a tangent value of 1?
Oh.
Remember, tangent. Tangent is found between pi over 2
So it's not.
to negative pi over 2.
So it's not
It doesn't equal a quadrantal because it can't, because you have an undefined value there.
So it's not going to be 90.
So what triangle is going to give you a tangent value, an opposite over adjacent, when you write it out, equal to 1? 45. So your opposite over adjacent, when you have a theta here of 1 over 1, so your tangent value here is 45 degrees, or pi over 4. And the reason that the tangent value is positive, or it gets positive 45 degrees, because the tangent is positive 1. If it was negative 1, then it would be negative 45 degrees. Okay? Your parameters for tangent tell you to find it between pi over 2 and negative pi over 2. You're in that portion.
So it could be a 3
Why are those parameters? I remember I tried to show you with by sectioning out the graph.
It's like the same thing as what you're saying here.
Correct.
But you didn't show me the
The tangent, what happens with tangent, as you go through your values of tangent, you've got, was it 1, 0, 0, 1, negative 1, 0, 0, negative 1. Here you have a positive 1, negative 1, positive 1, and a negative 1.
Wait, are you, is that, so you're talking about when you do your opposite over adjacent, you'll get positive there, negative there, okay.
Because what's negative divided by negative?
Yeah.
So what happens here, if
That's
you
the
take,
final up.
the circle itself out high, Thank you. If you take this out and you look at the periodicity, the period of going around the circle, as you go through the circle via a tangent value, when you get to here and here, you get 1 over 0, undefined. Okay? It's y over r. Here is, I wrote it as positive 1 because it's root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. So it's 1. You're 45-degree angle. Okay? It's tangent of 45 is 1 over 1. That's why I wrote it like that. What happens graphically?
Oh, R's the X.
What happens between negative pi over 2 and pi over 2? Yes, ma'am?
No, I can wait,
Okay.
but just, no.
What happens between these two values here and here? What's halfway between pi over 2 negative and pi over 2 positive? 0. So 0 is here. What's halfway between 0 and pi over 2? Pi over 4. And then would you go, okay, if I put negative pi over 4 here? Okay. Now, tangent at 0, opposite over adjacent, 0. Okay with that? Tangent at pi over 4 is 1.
Yeah.
Tangent at negative pi over 4, negative 1. Now, what's happening as it's getting closer and closer to here, it's approaching an asymptote. So this is increasing and approaching an asymptote, and it's never going to get there. As it's getting to the other direction, what else is it approaching? Another asymptote going this way. So the periodicity of tangent is always bound between the quadrantal of the y-axis because you cannot divide by 0. That's why this is shaped within 1 pi total between these two. Whereas the other ones are cyclical. They continuously go up and down throughout the curve, and they repeat themselves every 2 pi. Tangent repeats itself from here to here, within 1 pi. So what's happening is you're getting all values of tangent to occur between this negative pi over 2 to the positive pi over 2 without the asymptote. That's why tangent's a little funky. Okay? Claire, you had something I was
Where are
saying.
you getting over 0?
Remember,
I see that's right there. It's
tangent is y over x.
Oh,
What do you got?
That's what I was gonna ask.
There you go. Yes,
So,
ma'am.
will tangent only be 1 if there's 1 around the sign?
No, there's still values for tangent here. I mean, you still have, you still have root 3 over 3 and all that kind of stuff. That stuff still occurs. It's just easier to show at those values because they're easier to plot. That's all.
When you start getting down to it, it's like cosine or sine and
Yeah.
inverse and stuff, you just have to find the fraction of it, right? You don't have to.
Right. When you get into the funky stuff, this is asking you the following. It's kind of, if you want to listen to how it's asking. What is the tangent of the angle that has a sine value of negative 1/2? What is the tangent of the angle that has a sine value of negative 1/2? So that means you'd start with the sine value of negative 1/2. What triangle gives me 1/2 to work with? It's the 30. So my angle would be negative 30 for 1/2. Okay? So that means what is the tangent of negative 30 degrees? So now you have to find the reference angle of negative 30 degrees. It's 30 degrees, okay? So now if you're in the tangent value, theta is 30 degrees. You have down 1, this is your opposite, your fourth quadrant.
that's positive.
This is positive root 3.
Or yeah,
So the tangent would be opposite over adjacent, so it is negative root 3 over 3. What is the value, what is the tangent value of the angle that has a sine value of negative 1/2? That's what that means. Okay. Work through this one. I know I've got the other sheet here. It's the same premise. It's a lot of just straight evaluate the angle.
Are you gonna make these points?
I don't know. We're gonna do so many of these things.
You know my flash groceries, so you guys.
Yeah, you guys got a ton of time to keep working on these things. Actually, I'll send you back. Actual back here. Yes, ma'am.
So the one that, like, I printed out last night,
Yeah.
in my locker, can I have a grab it? Like, the one that I already, like, finished all the problems on?
Oh, you don't have to bring it in. I'm not collecting that right now. I want you, because not everybody got it. So, yeah, if you've got an extra copy, you don't have to take that out, because that's what you have. This is the one that you haven't gotten yet. Yes, sir.
What do you have flex against the last game?
Well, I have Flex tomorrow out here. I don't think I'm going anywhere tomorrow during Flex. I might run down to, my 12th hour class is taking the test. I might, but I'd probably be up here because other classes will be coming into Flex, so. Yeah, if you guys want to come into Flex, it's not a big deal.
Be in Flex
All right?
today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, the right test are only like 5 questions.